What's up guys, welcome back to the personal channel. My name is Dylan. Today I'm going to be talking about the most recent concert that I went to, which was last night in Hartford, Connecticut at the Falling in Reverse concert for the God is a Weapon tour. The bands that played before Falling in Reverse were incredible. Point North, Hollywood Undead, and Slaughter to Prevail, and then it ended with Falling in Reverse. But it was such a cool concert. It was such a cool experience, and I have some videos from the concert that I'll post throughout the video here, so make sure you stay until the end so you can see some of the stuff that I saw last night. Just a little disclaimer, guys, there will be some lights in this video, so if you're sensitive to flashing lights or changes in brightness or anything like that, please just keep in mind this is a concert where they had light displays and everything going on, so this video may not be for you. I wanted to do this as a vlog because it was such a terrifying experience for me, and I wanted to kind of put this out here in case you guys are in a similar position in the future, or if you are in right now, maybe. So initially, when I was driving out to drill, I drilled this past weekend with the Army Reserves. I had it in my head that I wanted to go see Falling in Reverse. I saw they had a tour going on right around the same time I was going to be in Massachusetts and Connecticut for drill. I had it in my head. I'm coming out Thursday. I'll go to drill Friday. I'll go to the concert Saturday. Go home Sunday after drill ends. It'll be fine, right? And after I looked into it a little bit more, the Mansfield, Massachusetts show was about 2 hours from my unit. So I was doing the math in my head. I was looking up how long the show was, and it said the show was like 4 hours. So it was like, man, I'm going to drive 2 hours after I get released from drill, probably at like 4 p.m. I'm going to get to the show late, and then by the time I get inside and park everything, I'm probably going to miss part of the first set. I'm going to have to then turn around and leave, go back 2 hours west, probably at like 11 p.m., 11:30, depending on when I get out. You know, all of these things were adding up in my head, and I'm like, on top of that, I'm spending money. I hate spending money. As I've talked about in the past on the channel, social media is very volatile. You might have 1 month that's super, super good, and you're, riding a really big high. The next 6 months could be absolutely terrible. So, with a regular job, there's definitely the upside of having a consistent pay schedule, but I wouldn't trade this for the world, dude. Social media presents such a cool opportunity. I always recommend to people, if you don't mind being on camera, or even if you do mind, try it out. Dude, it's such a weird way to see the country, such a weird way to see the world, but it presents such a cool opportunity. You just have to kind of take the punches as they go. You know what I mean? On top of all this happening, Saturday, I was super, super exhausted. I didn't really sleep all that well Friday, and then Saturday night, I was just like, I'm not going to go. I can't do it. There's too much going on. I ended up going to one of my friend's houses, and we watched the Canelo fight, which had me up until, like, again, 3 a.m. So super tired going into Sunday. But one of my friends who went to the concert Saturday night was like, oh, they have a Hartford show. I was like, Hartford where? Connecticut? He goes, yeah, they're going to be there tonight. So I did some Googling. So I realized that show was about 40 minutes from my unit. And I figured by the time I get released, I could get there around 5 probably, by the time I park and get inside and everything. So wait, this is doable. So I started looking at tickets, and the tickets weren't bad at all, actually. I ended up sitting in the 200 rows. I think it was row N, or section N, whatever they call it, which is just behind the pit. So that was kind of crazy. I'm sitting there at lunch, I have been thinking about it all day. All of Sunday, I was asking people if they could make it out that night to go to the concert. And it was about 3 hours from where I live in New York, so a lot of people said, I work Monday, I don't want to drive 3 hours. There's a litany of reasons that I was given, but it was slowly starting to dawn on me that if I wanted to go to this concert, I'd have to go alone. I've only been to 3 other concerts before this, so I'm very inexperienced when it comes to concerts, and I've never been to a concert alone, so the prospect was very terrifying to me. I feel like I don't know if it's a cultural thing or what, but I feel like there's this sort of fear about going to things like this alone. You don't want to be the weird guy who shows up alone. That's just like ingrained in my head for some reason, but it became very apparent to me that if I want to go to this concert to see Falling in Reverse, Point North, Slaughter to Prevail, and Hollywood Undead, who I've loved for a long time, I had to go alone. So sitting there at the lunch table, I was looking up, all the logistics, where I was going to park, how much the tickets would be, the different clubs that you can get into. Like, they had a VIP thing where you could go to a VIP club before and after the concert, but I was like, well, after the concert, I want to drive home. So I was looking how far the theater was from my home. So I was going through everything, right? But I decided at the lunch table that I was going to the concert and I would figure everything out along the way. Even though I slept like 2 or 3 hours the night before, even though it was going to put me a half hour farther away from home at the end of the concert, I was like, this is one of those concerts where if I don't go to it, I'm going to regret it. I know that for sure, Falling in Reverse has been one of my favorite bands the past couple of years, past probably, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years or so. Hollywood Undead is a band I've known about forever, and I love them. I only knew one song by Point North, which I feel bad because they rock, and I had heard of Slaughter to Prevail, but I've never heard any of their songs. And it was such a cool concert, dude. But yeah, I ended up getting the Unplugged pass. So I don't know if this is specific to the Xfinity Theater in Hartford. Well, is it the Xfinity Theater or the Center? If you guys know, drop a comment down below. I keep mixing them up because one is the Mansfield date and one was at the Mansfield date. Like the Xfinity, I think it's the Xfinity Theater is the one in Hartford. So Xfinity Center in Mansfield was the date that I was looking at, but the Xfinity Theater in Hartford was the one that I ended up going to. I think that's it. I think I got it. But I ended up getting to the venue either way. They had free gravel parking, which was there, which was super cool. But I ended up going with the Unplugged Lounge because there's a couple benefits to it. You got in 90 minutes early, so you didn't have to wait in the super long line that was at the gates with all the people who had gotten there early to get in early. You got to walk into the lounge before the doors actually opened. You got a little like complimentary drink pass where whatever drink you get is $1. So that was pretty cool. And they said they had finger food there. They didn't when I got there kind of late because I was just getting out of drill and I had to change and everything. But there was a lot of benefits to it, you know? And sure enough, once the gates actually opened, they let us right out of the lounge into the venue. So I got to go get my merch and everything, got to go see where my seat was. And then it dawned on me that I was at this concert completely alone. I was looking around, everybody was having a great time. They were with their boyfriends, their girlfriends, they came with a group of friends. And here I am in the 200 rows of this amphitheater sitting by myself. So the very, very beginning, I was super self-conscious, and 6:15 rolls around, and the set list that I looked up online said that Point North starts at 6:15. But I didn't see any specific setup. You know, they had a ton of gear on the stage. They had drum sets, and they had mic stands and stuff. I was like, oh, maybe this one starts later. I don't know. Then all of a sudden, Point North just runs out, dude. They came from the back, like, room somewhere, and it was broad daylight. So I don't know. It was kind of it was a weird vibe. I've never been to a concert where they start playing music in the broad daylight, I don't think. And I felt bad. I didn't know the etiquette for amphitheater concerts, so everybody around me was sitting down, so I just stayed sitting down. I didn't really know any of Point North's songs, but they rock, dude. They have some really great songs, and if you've never heard of them, I would definitely recommend you listen to them. Below the Belt has been on repeat for me ever since this concert. I'll put a few clips of Point North right here. But even during their set, you know, I was kind of self-conscious. I'm looking around, I'm like, man, everybody loves these guys. They probably know more of their songs than I do. I feel like I shouldn't be here. I was just really struggling with this thought, like, man, maybe I wasted my time. I wasted my money. Maybe this isn't going to be the fun experience that I thought it would be. And as the set went on, they played Safe and Sound, the one song that I knew, and that's just a banger. So I started recording some more clips. I started taking some more pictures. I was like, okay, maybe once we get into the bands that I know a little bit more, maybe I'll enjoy it a little bit more. Oh, also, I'm sure you guys are wondering what I spent the complimentary drink, $1 drink voucher on. I ended up getting a vodka Red Bull, which the vodka was totally fine, but the Red Bull I still had to pay for, because I guess since it's technically a different drink, it's different, you know, it's outside of the complimentary charge. And I think they forgot the Red Bull. It was kind of insane, so that was fun. But then we got into Hollywood Undead. This is a band that I've known about forever. Same thing. I knew a lot of their songs, specifically from, oh, dude, what is it? Swan Songs? Specifically from their album Swan Songs. I have a ton of songs from them there. So I did some Googling, like I said, about the set list. And I found Riot, which was released pretty recently. I think 2017 is when Riot came out. I didn't know that song before the concert, but that's one of my favorite songs from them right now. Such a good song. They ended up playing stuff like Riot. They played Undead. I don't know, just all around great vibes. They were throwing beach balls into the crowd. They were really, really funny too. They brought a dude up on stage. They kept saying, you know, they're saying out into the crowd, if somebody here is really good at playing guitar, we want to feature you. Like, come up on stage, come meet the band really quick, play a really good riff. But they're like, don't play some BS. Don't be up there strumming some chords. Don't be up there playing like hot cross buns or something. Come up here and shred. And everybody in the pit was pointing at this one dude. They're like, yo, this guy right here, this guy right here. So they're like, all right, bring this guy up. It was like their second song. They're like, we know it's super early, but we want to like honor a fan. We want to bring them up here and rock out with them. So they bring this guy up. They ask him his name. His name is Nick. They're like, all right, bro, go crazy. Like, here's one of our guitars, just start shredding. And he gets up there and he was trying his best. He was trying his best, but after like 30 seconds, Charlie just looks at him and goes, man, you freaking suck. And it was just like one of those funny moments where everybody in the crowd loved it. Everybody starts freaking out. I don't know, that's been like a core memory. Just one of those moments where I just didn't expect it, you know, because Point North, I don't know if they had a really strict time restraint, but I felt like their set was a little rushed. You know, I feel like they didn't talk in between songs as much. They were the opener, so I'm sure they did have a pretty strict schedule to adhere to, but Hollywood Undead was definitely the first band that kind of stopped to talk and introduce songs each time and just kind of like, you know, just kind of banter with the crowd a little bit. And here's some clips from the Hollywood Undead portion. Next was Slaughter to Prevail. My friend who went to the Mansfield concert, that's one of his all-time favorite bands. I never really listened to them. Growing up, I convinced myself that I didn't like heavy music. You know, I was very into like dad rock, Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days Grace, you know, stuff like that. And slowly but surely, I started getting into stuff like A Day to Remember. I would like their more melodic songs, not so much their heavier stuff. But I think I listened to Second Sucks, maybe? I think it was Second Sucks. That was the song that kind of switched it for me. And I slowly started listening to new music like I Prevail, Bad Omens, got into Amity Affliction, and the rest is history, right? But Slaughter to Prevail was there. I didn't know any of their songs, but they rocked, dude. They go hard. I've added a lot of their songs to my gym playlists. That's all I can really say about them. You know, I didn't know really anything about them going into it, but Alex, the lead singer there, took some time to deliver an inspirational message, which I thought was really cool too. I posted it on my TikTok. If you guys don't follow me on all my other social medias, make sure you follow me. I posted some pictures over there on Instagram, and I also posted a video on TikTok, but there will be tons of more pictures and videos from that concert coming out in the next few days, so go check them out if you haven't already. But here are some clips from Slaughter to Prevail's set. And then finally, Falling in Reverse came out. So it was kind of funny. They have like a doll. They call it Donnie, which is on their website right now. You can buy it. I think it's like $300. But they had like the screen where all the, I would call it a Titantron. I don't know. That's what they call it in like WWE. The screen where they would show the lyrics or the name of the band or whatever. Donnie came up and he was talking about how he's so excited to start the concert or whatever. And they showed Ronnie and the band backstage just getting all hyped, getting ready to start. Then they come out, they do a great set. Dude, they saved all of the pyro for Falling in Reverse. Every single song had a ton of fire. They had all the lights that all the other bands had, but dude, it was insane. Such a freaking good concert. At one point, Ronnie came out and he was just going around the crowd, walking through the pathways and stuff. It was cool. It was a really dope concert. And I'm happy that I saw them in person because everybody was incredible live. Every single band was so good. There wasn't a moment where I was like, oh man, they sound way better on the radio or on, you know, Apple Music, whatever. Everybody was fire. They rocked. And being only my 4th ever concert, I was super nervous. One, because it was my concert alone. But sometimes you see online like, oh man, this band sounds so much better on my phone than they do in person. Or, oh man, the sound crew, the sound stage, whatever, they messed that up, so you couldn't really hear the singer, all you could hear was the bass or whatever, right? You hear all of these things about bad experiences that people have had, and maybe you guys don't do this, but usually when I see stuff like that and I buy a concert ticket or I get ready to do a huge event like this, that's the first thing I think of. Like, what if I'm sitting here and I can't hear a word they're saying? I don't even know what song it is because all I can hear is like the guitar or all I can hear is the drums, you know? I don't know if that really makes sense, but the concert was incredible, dude. Everybody was insane live. Here's some clips from the Falling in Reverse portion.
The wild dream, I was in a world that admired me, and when I woke up I was smiling, and that's irony, that's irony. You talk a lot but you don't even know me. Until they are down, trusting your leaders, mouth on the throne. Nowadays, people are too afraid to say what's on your mind. Stepping on a landmine. Nowadays, people have gotten worse. They think we need to purge because we're the ones in the deep.
But yeah, it was an incredible concert, dude. I'm so glad that I went. I definitely had a lot of anxieties setting this up, but right now I'm looking into going to the Breaking Benjamin in 3 Days Grace concert that is in Darien Lake, New York. It's today, Wednesday, when you guys see this, but it's still Tuesday morning for me. I'm recording this just after my stream. I'm not sure if I want to go to that yet because, like I said, I hate spending money. It's a 4.5-hour drive west, and I would have to come back Thursday morning after watching the concert Wednesday night to then turn around and go back 7 hours west to Madison, Ohio for MadCon Friday morning, probably. So it'd be a lot of travel in not a lot of time. But at the same time, like I said, I grew up listening to Breaking Benjamin. I grew up listening to 3 Days Grace. So they're bands that I really owe my music taste to. And I have seen them once before, but seeing them again would be the icing on the cake. And I really think that they're one of the bands that may not tour, for very much longer. Like 3 Days Grace just dropped a new album. Breaking Benjamin released, Awaken? And it seems like they're coming out with a new album here soon. But I feel like they've been in the game for a long time, man. I'm always worried that I'm going to keep pushing off seeing a band that I like just because there will be more tour dates in the future. But that's not something you can necessarily rely on. Your favorite band could stop touring this year. This could be the last year that they do public tours. That's the mindset that I've been going into this week with, and now I kind of have the concert bug, so I think I'm going to go. I don't know. Drop a comment what you think if you would go to the Breaking Benjamin concert. Like I said, 4.5-hour drive, full concert, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, I would assume. I haven't really looked up the set list yet, but driving home 4.5 hours after the concert, same sort of setup as the Falling in Reverse one I went to. It's tough, man. I really wanted to make this video, one, to immortalize all of these videos that I took at the concert, but two, to share my experience, and if you guys are in the same boat, to tell you not to be afraid. Definitely be safe, be aware of your surroundings. If you do have people that could go with you in terms of safety, like if you're concerned of safety issues, definitely, be smart in that regard. But the entire time I was there, it was such good vibes from everybody. Just talking to the people sitting next to me. They had security everywhere. So the venue that I went to was very, very safe. They made their presence known, and they had police officers walking around as well. So it's not like there was any moment where I was like, man, I'm kind of scared right now. Everywhere you went, from the merch line to like the drink stands and everything, from just walking around inside the amphitheater, it felt very, very safe. But if you're in a position where you're about to do something and you're scared, think of the alternative, right? If you're thinking about going to a concert, you're thinking about going to a festival, you're thinking about going to whatever, and you're going, man, I don't really know if I should. It might be kind of far. It might be this. It might be that. What is the alternative? Are you going to regret it for a considerable amount of time if you don't go to this event or if you don't do this thing? Why are you scared? What are your main concerns? Dude, this entire experience has totally like warped my perception, because if I didn't go to that concert, I know for a fact my TikTok feed would be full of like videos from concerts on this tour, and I would just think about how I could have went. I could have seen all these bands. I would have never been introduced to all these songs by Point North and Slaughter to Prevail. There's so many different things that would have never happened. It was kind of funny. I was talking about it on the stream too. I struggled with the dichotomy of trying to enjoy the moment and trying to get enough for content. Once I decided that I was going, I knew that I had to get some content so I could justify it in my head. Like, oh, this is kind of like a work trip almost, I'm going to make a video out of this. I'm going to get some TikTok content. I'm going to get some pictures to post. It'll work out in the end sort of thing. But I wanted to record enough to get content for pictures, for videos, to record the choruses that I like or whatever. But I knew that I didn't want my memories to be of me holding my phone in front of my face. I didn't want my memories of this concert to be seeing some of my favorite artists up on the stage in front of me just a few rows away, and all I can see is my phone screen. You know what I mean? But it was kind of funny because I would record a video for content, right? Like, God is a Weapon, the chorus part where Ronnie starts going under the high notes that is super popular on TikTok right now. I recorded that. I was like, yeah, that's fire. That's going to be good. I'll post that in a few days when I get home. I'd put my phone in my pocket, and then he would get into a super heavy, like, drum solo, or the pyro would be insane. I'm like, okay, I'm going to record this, but after I record this, I'm going to put my phone away. I'd record that segment. Next song would be one of my favorite songs. Take it out, record it again, It was just kind of funny. So a good portion of the concert, I had my phone like off to the side. So I'm watching the concert with my own eyes. I'm seeing the concert in real time. But I would just kind of like side eye my phone, make sure it's still in frame and everything. It was kind of funny. I don't know. Long story short, do the thing that scares you. Whether it's starting a business, whether it's going to a concert, dude, do the thing that scares you, because I think it's going to, at the very least, give you some great memories and give you some great life experience. It'll be a learning experience no matter what. You know what I'm saying? This was such a cool opportunity, and like I said, I'm still thinking about going to Breaking Benjamin in 3 Days Grace. By the time you guys see this video, I will already have made up my mind. I will either have tickets or I will be sad. And I don't know, I'll probably make a vlog of that trip too if I do end up going, because like I said, it's kind of like a justification. Like, it's for work, But if you guys made it all the way here, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite concert you've ever been to was, and just kind of your thoughts about this video. Do you like this sort of recap video that I just did? It's a very different style to even the Europe trip videos that I've done. I feel like it's a lot more of me just yapping, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this sort of stuff. I could definitely do more like story time videos or videos like this in the future. Just let me know what you guys want to see in the personal channel here. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys do have any concerts coming to your area, consider going to them. They're a lot of fun. I'm probably just not going to eat food for like 3 weeks, but if I do end up going to both of these concerts, I know I'm going to have a lot of great memories and a lot of great content to come out. So I think I'm going to do it. But long story short, do the thing that scares you. Go out, have a great time, make some memories, learn some lessons, and don't be afraid to do things alone. One of my friends, Chase, actually posted a video not too long ago about this. He said he went to the movies alone, and that was kind of a similar experience for him as the concert was to me. He had this perception, the same one that I did, that going to the movies alone is just kind of weird. And he did, and he enjoyed the movie. It's one of those things where it's like you go alone, and then you realize how fun, how liberating it is. You don't have to worry about someone going to the bathroom. You don't have to worry about stopping to go to the merch line when you don't want to go to the merch line. You don't have to worry about stopping here or going there. You don't have to worry about all these different things. Going alone is such a freeing, liberating experience. And going into the concert, I thought that I was going to get so many weird side eyes and people were going to think that I was the weird guy going to a concert alone. Dude, once the music started, pretty much all went away. Such great vibes there. I don't know. But thank you guys again so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you drop a like down below. Subscribe if you're new, if you guys like ghost hunting content, if you like vlogs, if you like travel stuff. I do a whole bunch of different stuff on this channel. And I don't know, get ready for the next few videos. I don't know why I said it like that. The next few videos, I have a ghost hunting video already in the shoot. I have the last video from Paris and from Dublin that I filmed when we were over in Europe. And I also have a vlog from Eureka Springs, Arkansas that I still have to string together. So a lot of cool content coming up. I also want to do something special for Halloween. I had thoughts of going to Halloween Horror Nights, but I feel like there needs to be a goal for that. What do you think a good goal is? I said 150,000 on the Haunted Nights channel. I don't think we're getting 150K before Halloween. What do you think would be a good goal for the personal channel? Let me know. Either way, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.